Hello everyone, and welcome back to another storytelling journey. Today, we'll explore a beautiful, emotional, and deeply spiritual story, Life of Pi by Jan Martel. It's a novel that teaches us about faith, hope, and the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable odds. This story is about a young boy named Pi Patel, who survives a shipwreck and finds himself stranded in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, alone, except for one unexpected companion, a Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. So sit back, relax, and let's begin this unforgettable adventure. Default text. Our story begins in Pondicherry, India, where a young boy named Paiseen Malita Patel grows up in his family's zoo. His father is the zookeeper, and Pi spends his childhood surrounded by animals, elephants, monkeys, zebras, and most fascinating of all, tigers. Because his name Paiseen sounds like pissing pie, is teased by his classmates. To escape the jokes, he shortens it to Pi, like the mathematical symbol pi, representing infinity. I is curious about everything science, philosophy, and especially religion. He explores Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. Seeing beauty in all three, he believes that all faiths are different paths to the same truth, love, and understanding. Pi's life in India is peaceful, but soon everything changes. When Pi is 16, his father decides to move the family to Canada, hoping for a better future. They sell most of their animals to zoos abroad and plan to travel with them on a Japanese cargo ship called the Sip. The ship sails across the Pacific, carrying the Patel family, crew members, and many animals. Pi feels both excited and nervous about leaving India behind. But one night, during a violent storm, tragedy strikes. In the middle of the night, Pi wakes up to the sound of thunder and chaos. The ship is tilting, alarms are blaring, and water is flooding the decks. Before he can find his family, the ship begins to sink. In the panic, Pi is thrown into a lifeboat. As he looks back, the Simpson disappears beneath the waves, taking his parents and brother with it. When the storm calms, Pi realizes he is not alone. On the lifeboat are a zebra with a broken leg, an orangutan named Orange Dewey, a hyena, and Bengal tiger, Richard Parker. Pi is terrified. The tiger hides under a tarpaulin. The animals, panicked and starving, soon turn violent. Default text. In the following days, nature takes over. The hyena kills the zebra, then it attacks Orange Juice. Finally, Richard Parker emerges from the shadows and kills the hyena. In the following days, nature takes over. The hyena kills the zebra, then it attacks Orange Juice. Finally, Richard Parker emerges from the shadows and kills the hyena. Using food and dominance, Pi establishes himself as the alpha. He uses his whistle and fishing skills to feed both himself and the tiger. The two begin an unusual, fragile partnership. Pi learns to catch fish, collect rainwater, and protect himself from the burning sun. He reads the survival manual and prays every day, finding strength in faith. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. Pi and Richard Parker drift endlessly across the Pacific. Pi battles storms, hunger, thirst, and loneliness. Yet he never loses hope. His faith keeps him alive. He believes that God has a plan. Despite the danger, Pi and the tiger develop a silent bond. They rely on each other to stay sane. At one point, Pi encounters a floating island, made entirely of algae it seems, like paradise: food, water, and shelter. But soon, he realizes the island is carnivorous. It consumes living creatures at night. Horrified, he leaves with Richard Parker and continues the journey. After 227 days at sea, Pi finally reaches the coast of Mexico. Exhausted and weak, he crawls onto the beach. Richard Parker also steps onto the sand, but without looking back, the tiger disappears into the jungle. Pi waits, hoping for one last goodbye, but Richard Parker never turns around. This moment breaks Pi's heart. After all their time together, he realizes he loved the tiger, the symbol of his survival. Soon, rescuers find Pi and take him to a hospital. In the hospital, Japanese investigators come to ask Pi what happened to the ship. They find his story, a boy surviving with a tiger, impossible to believe. so Pi tells them another story. In this version, there are no animals, only humans. The zebra becomes a sailor, the orangutan becomes Pi's mother, the hyena becomes a violent cook, and the tiger is Pi himself. In this version, the humans turn to murder and cannibalism. Pi suggests that the tiger represents his animal instinct, the part of him that had to kill to survive. The men are shocked. Pi then asks, "Which story do you prefer?" They admit they prefer the one with the tiger. Pi smiles and says, "And so it goes with God." Life of Pi is more than just a survival story. It's a meditation on faith, truth, and the human spirit. The tiger may be real, or it may be a symbol of Pi's inner strength. Either way, the message is clear. Even in the darkest moments, belief gives life meaning. The ocean represents life itself, vast, unpredictable, and often cruel. Yet, even in the middle of nowhere, Pi finds beauty, courage, and hope. His bond with Richard Parker shows that inside every person, there is both fear and bravery, and sometimes, survival means making peace with the animal within us. In the end, Pi Patel becomes a man who has faced death, loneliness, and despair, yet never lost his faith. Life of Pi reminds us that the line between reality and as we think, sometimes what matters most is not which story is true, but which story helps us live. Final words for the audience. And that was Life of Pi by Yann Martel, a story of survival, faith, and the deep mystery of life itself. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with friends who love powerful stories. Thank you for listening, and remember, no matter how big your ocean is, never lose faith.